Man lost a bet to impression.
All right, you guys, let's break down what's going on here. These are the fighters, bottom left.
Put a exclamation point location, and it'll tell you where it's at. Jimmy Jam.
They called it Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, never really got in trouble.
Actually,
So,
exclamation
not a lot of
point
good
lock.
stories. There were a lot of
LOC.
people who did a lot of shit.
Loc.
And don't go harming any of these people that are saying this. These guys are heroes for doing this. And they didn't do it. I did it.
Lock.
You
I
see,
found this accidentally.
I just don't care, and I'll steal other people's stories. Perfect. I gotta at least be someone
Freezing. It's like freezing.
I don't necessarily.
So the vehicles that were up at the house
actually a
prior.
Derrick's son.
I'm going to pause this so.
Yeah.
So the vehicles that were up at the place prior to coming down to the grub truck, they've been sitting here. And I think what they're doing is selling tickets. Because they sold tickets to this. A lot. You saw the video I did prior. That Cluminati clicked on that link and that's the video that popped up. So off to the left side of the guy in red, that is the SUV. And I think they're selling tickets out of there. Where you can see people standing out there. They're standing towards the... I don't know if it's parked forward or backward. I'm thinking they're buying it out of the passenger or driver's window, which is where the people over here on the left are standing. And I know that because I've been watching it, and I've been watching them move about, and that's how I knew who the drivers and all this other stuff was. And then over here, in this window, you've got the Charger parked there, and it's facing, the light you see is like the headlight. So it's facing so it can just pull it straight out. This one, I'm aware of who the driver is. He's wearing a Charger hat. It's a Charger car. It's very obvious. You can see him walk to it. I watched it. Anyway, so I've got some questions. First of all, who promoted this thing? Demetrius? You think? Who else was a promoter down there? Joe Vito was. Big time promoter, right? You got that? How did they choose which kids? How did they choose those? I'm curious about that. Was it the ones that were graduating that they were jealous of? Was it ones they thought weren't going to matter anyway? Was it, whatever it was? I mean, that's horrible to think, but look what they did. That's horrible. That's really horrible. How come Caden wasn't alive? Because he was a journalist and he was going to talk about it? Possibly. You've got so many parts to this thing. There's no way one man could have done all of this. Or maybe not any of it. Here you've got a guy who is a teacher's assistant who people don't like how hard he's on people, right? They think he's weird. They think he's weird with women. He's awkward. What better way to blame it on a freaking teacher? Come on. How easy would it be to get his DNA? I mean, they're studying it in his classroom, you guys. Let's break down who was in his classroom. Wasn't there a mom that talked about her son in the classroom next door? But literally, nobody knows who he is. He was a teacher there, but nobody knows who he is. Come on. You guys got to think outside the box. Seriously. I mean, this is one thing right here. Bringing receipts. Well, here's one right here. But it's like, well, Venmo. There's pretty much a receipt. There's Molly at 3 o'clock, right? I mean, those Venmos tell everything. Maybe even Ethan buying drugs, getting amped up before the fight. Maybe he knew about it prior. There's a photo going around out there, and I think actually Van Life might have it on one of her things where her tunnel one, where when you're looking at it, it's kind of hard to see. But what it is, it's a bunch of people gathered around, and up above them, there's lights, and it looks like flags hanging down. That was the boxing ring. I believe the boxing ring was outside in front of the house. Now, here's the next thing. You're going to tell me the cops didn't know about that? You're going to tell me they didn't drive there, they didn't hear that, they didn't know about it? That is such bull. I literally want to jump through this phone into their doorway and just tell them what I think about them. And they're covering this up and they're blaming it on somebody else. What the heck is going on here, you guys? Literally, what the heck's going on? Is this our world now? We got kids unaliving kids because they're making money off of it. And trust me, they made a lot of money off this between the bets and the tickets they sold. They made a lot of money. The kid back here doing the cooking, he's talking about fights like, these things, just nonchalantly talking about how they had him in his school or whatever. And then you hear Queen, like you'll hear the word Queen in there. I'm just going to keep popping these things out because they're in my head. I got to get them out. So here you've got Dylan coercing her to come back because Kaylee to come back into town to go to the party with her. Really? That's not why she did that. She coerced her back into town to get her ass beat. That's what she did. That's what little Dylan did. You know, the one that was petrified? Yeah, I'm mad now. I'm really mad. So, let's see. What else is out there? I wrote this stuff down, but it's all messy on here. I mean, I just wrote it down, like, scribbled it really fast. Yeah, well, they were going back to the Twitch stream, so everybody knew with the Twitch through this. Somebody, I can't remember, it's on here somewhere, something like that, that they had a stream like that was set up. Hence the reason the University of Washington thing went down that night. That was how many people were on there. They broke it. Or they took it down and rewired it some other way to where it didn't feed through there, so they wouldn't have all that other energy going through there, so they had it all powering where they were, which is what I'm thinking. But here you got this too. Now you've got the video, the pictures, the live stream that was done through here. And that's making money somewhere too. This stuff is all making money still somewhere. Mark my word, those dark, ugly little areas on the web, this is going down. It's out there. But you think authorities are going to do something about it? Now they're too lazy. Come on. They can't even write up a report. I mean, the reports I read on the website, on their website, their Moscow Daily Report Log, are just they're mind-boggling. The things that they just let go. But this is the biggest mind blower of all. This one right here. This is a cover-up of all cover-ups, you guys. And God help me. Oh, well, if you know that if I'm no longer out there anymore, you'll know what happened. And someone, please do something about it. Don't just stand by idle. Don't let this happen. I mean, watch the face of this black guy, the cashier here. He is upset. He's thinking, and you can see his brain, his mind is just... He's a sensitive guy. I've watched him through the Twitch thing, and he's just a really sensitive kind of character. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna bounce off of this. Right, there was an RV that they brought in there, and that was parked. In the first parking spot, where all the cars are parking in right in the beginning, there's an RV there, and you can hear the door slam. And it's an RV door slamming. It's very obvious to me because I lived in one for 2 years when I worked at a plant on site, and so I know what that sound is. I mean, the first time I heard that sound, I was like, "Oh, I know that sound." Oh my God, I'm exhausted because of this. I haven't been able to sleep with this thing. I've been going 24/7. It's caused me some issues. So I'm glad to get this out. In fact, I just deleted 8,000 screenshots out of my phone from this. You want to know why? Because I don't need them anymore. I don't need them. This is what happened. There were all other things that stemmed around something else, and that's not what happened. This is what happened. This is a fight club that got out of control, and they didn't know what to do about it because they were going to get in trouble, and so someone had to cover it up. Someone had to do the dirty work. Who that was, I'm not certain about that part, but part I do know is this was promoted. This was sold. There was tickets sold to this. There were bets. This was live streamed. It was video recorded. You watch these people coming in on this grub truck. Keep a good eye on them. They're from everywhere. These people aren't just from the college. They're not just students. There's older people coming in here. There's people that aren't from here. They're not even from that state, maybe. I mean, this was a, well, think about it. Demetrius and Emma, what do they've got? They've got, they're in Seattle. I mean, what better way to promote this is in Seattle? Have people come down here for that, right? This is just where they, man, I'm just, my mind is, okay, so here's another thing. So that Boise, that, whatever that hotel is on that one, I can't remember what it was, the name of it, but it was on my video before this. And that, I would check into that and see who was checked in there on the 13th, 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th, maybe 14th. I bet you that hotel was full. I bet there was not a room to be booked. I bet you there was hotels all over the place that were booked. That's something you guys can look into. Because, I mean, I don't really have the power to do those things like that. This stuff that I found out, this is just watching this grub truck. I've been obsessed with this grub truck. And when they took off the 4.5 hour feed, I was like, oh my God. Because at that point, I didn't even know what a screen recording was. I didn't know. But it's so funny to me right now. I know I'm just babbling on, and I'm sorry, because this is because of my my high quality videos, you know. I mean, I'm just a peon. I don't know anything, right? I mean, no one's reached out to me and asked me to think. You know what they're doing? They're beat feeding it right now. All the big channels out there are running amok because I've just now, well, I've given them something else to talk about, put it that way. But I've also blown all this stuff out of the water. It's not, you know, a lot of that stuff isn't even relevant anymore. And not only that, but they're not going to be making any money, right? They don't have anything to talk about. But guess what? There's a lot to talk about here, you guys. A lot. So get to work. I hope you guys are on it. I mean, there's Joe Vito. There's, how about the refrigeration truck, Payne and Cody Funk? How about the refrigeration truck that no one seems to talk about, that I keep bringing up and nobody wants to talk about it? Okay, go look in the Moscow police reports, what they'll probably actually take off at this point. I'd go screenshot all those bitches right now. I mean, because those things are going to disappear, just like all the other things have disappeared, right? So there was calls coming in about some random refrigeration truck parked in their way, blocking their driveway or whatever. I bet you anything. There was either a unaliving there by the hands of the person, or by what they like to call that anyway, but that's not the doing, it's something else, in my opinion. Or they're, you know, unattended deaths with just like maybe an elderly person or something that passes and they go in. But why is there a refrigeration truck there if it's not, doesn't say morgue on the side of it? That's my question to you. How about delve into that one? Yeah. And it's interesting to me. There's a funk in the house, and there's a funk that's a coroner. And he's been a coroner for 16, 18 years, and it was handed down to him. He was only like an EMT. And Steve Fry, Steve Fry, he's the one that same day, 13th, the afternoon of the 13th, was driving his son home, back to the frat, and saw what looked to be a brain on top of the dumpster outside the frat. Okay, these people are all connected, you guys. They're all connected. You see what I'm talking about? They all have a little piece in the pie. All of them. Their hands are in pockets everywhere. And this is scary. That this can go down, and it's handed down to the kids. These kids are growing up playing killing video games where they can just kill and then wake up the next day and the people are there. Oh, they're not in the trunk anymore. That prostitute's not in the trunk anymore, blah, blah. And they're back alive on their video game and they can kill them again. Well, that's not how it is in real life. It's not how it is in real life. You kids all need to be responsible for this. Every single last one of you. Because you all were involved. And I don't know how you guys sleep at night. I don't know. It makes me sick to my stomach. Good luck with life. Better yourself, okay? Go out there and tell the goddamn truth. Tell the truth. Maybe you'll end up being able to sleep at night and you'll have a conscience. Come on, you guys. Jeez Louise. Probably got to move it out of that town, though, and I'd do it before you start talking.